Well, the basic problem if you're an independent game designer is that it would be very difficult to try to compete directly with the major publishers if you're doing a game of a type that they continue to support, such as a real-time strategy game or a racing game, because they have vastly more financial resources and vastly more staff resources than you do. So if you're going to be successful, the best thing to do is to try to do something that the major publishers are not doing, which could be in terms of doing something with a different theme, approaching an audience that they're not approaching. It could mean doing an older game style, such as a graphic adventure or a turn-based strategy game that the major publishers no longer feel worthwhile supporting. Or it could mean trying to innovate in a way that the conventional market no longer can really support. Our basic purpose is to try to create for the games industry what independent music and independent film provide for their industries, an alternative distribution path for games that are just not going to work in conventional retail. And in essence, if you look at both music and film, independent music and independent film provide a way for people to experiment at lower budgets and perhaps create product that can then serve to reinvigorate the mainstream of the industry. And we're trying to essentially create that same dynamic for games. I think the founder of any startup who tells you that he doesn't want to go public is probably nuts, because that is kind of the end game. The reality is that we are aiming at what the game industry at least considers a niche market. So I would guess that our likely development path is more along the lines of eventually being taken over by a larger company that is interested in playing in kind of the independent game sphere. Another way to look at it is the casual game market has grown from essentially nothing to 300 million market over the last 4 or 5 years, and we're essentially trying to position independent games as a similar category with similar potential.
Do you see yourself as evolving within the long tail?
Yeah, certainly we think a lot about the long tail. The basic problem with the conventional retail channel is that a typical game store has about 200 facings for games. Thousands of games are published every year. Games typically have a 2-week on-sale window before they're into the bargain bin. So there's a lot of opportunity in terms of providing games that you're not going to find at GameStop. And in essence, that's the long tail approach. So yes. I've been in the games industry for some 30 years. I got my start actually doing tabletop war games and role-playing games back in the mid-'70s, and I've designed more than 30 commercially published board, role-playing, computer, online, and mobile games over the years.
Do you have intellectual property on these?
Actually, for all of my tabletop games, all of the non-digital games, I've recaptured the rights to, and I have in fact recaptured the rights to some of the digital games as well. Although that's typically more difficult in digital games. Well, I came to the conclusion that if we really wanted to change the industry, we had to solve the distribution problem. That was actually more important than designing another game. So I would expect to do some game design in future years, but at the moment, that's not where I'm focused.
So Manifesto is your main
if you're running a startup, you spend long hours working on the company. There's probably not a lot else you should be doing at the same time.
Who have you surrounded yourself with over there at Manifesto?
We're still very small. We've got about 4 people. My partner is Johnny Wilson, who was editor of Computer Gaming World for many, many years. And our other 2 people are Bill Folsom, who's doing business development for us, and Eleanor Lang, who is doing our publicity and marketing.